One of the most common reasons that a patient would request a review appointment is that they have noticed some bleeding around the stoma or whenever they're actually washing or drying the stoma. And one of the most common reasons for that is a little thing called a granuloma. And this usually occurs at the junction of where the stoma actually joins onto the skin. And it's thought to be due to where the sutures have been and maybe just an irritation at the mucocutaneous junction. Another reason why people think that this happens is from irritation just from the fecal enzymes. What you will notice is that you will have a little red raised area. It can occur on the stoma as well, but you just leave that well alone. If you discover these little red lumps, look a bit like a warty construction, and it does bleed and it can be quite painful whenever you're washing and drying the stoma, certainly go to see your stomach care nurse, because there are things that can be done to help you manage that situation. The first thing that the nurse will do for you is to measure your actual template of the bag that you're cutting or that you've already got pre-cut, because it's really important that the bag is as neat a size as possible to the stoma, because the more contact with the mucocutaneous junction or the peristomal skin, then you can develop problems with that as well. So if you are diagnosed that you do have a granuloma, you're going to probably be wondering, well, what's the best treatment for that? And according to most of the recent guidelines for the stomach care nurses, the first line of treatment would be using a silver nitrate pencil. And what the nurse will do is actually just press the pencil down onto the granuloma, and it reduces in size. Now, you will need to go back to the hospital for probably 4 weeks, 1 day each week, to have the treatment repeated. Another little tip that works well is that once the nurse has that treated, is to put on a seal or a little washer over the top of where the treatment area has been, and that just presses down the granuloma as well. There's no real way to prevent them occurring, but they can reoccur again even though they've been treated. Now, if you do find that after this little blog post that when you look at your stoma you do have little swellings at that junction and they're not causing you any harm, you don't need them treated. And if they're not bleeding excessively, you don't need any treatment either. So it's just a little piece of information just to make you aware of what that little swelling is around the stoma.